and obviously this is something that I was thinking about throughout the game. And the word I would use to um, to talk about what happened tonight was the word I would use would be respond, because I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen a Miami Hurricanes offense respond like this Miami Hurricanes offense did. Every time it seemed like Louisville was creeping back in the game, De'Aaron King, Cameron Harris, Jalen Knighton, Brevin Jordan, Mallory. It just felt like we always had an answer. And if everybody listen to this, you who follow the Canes, this is a feeling that we haven't felt before. Usually when we give up some points, we think, oh, here we go again. How will this game end? But it just felt like every punch we took, our offense punched back. So the word I would use would be, I am very excited and happy about how the offense and team responded to adversity today. What would you say to that? And do you have something that a word that you would use, or something that shocked you, or something that you took away from the night?
Well, I think that's definitely a great point. And like you said, a lot of us Canes fans, especially like over the past like 2 decades now, have kind of been ingrained in that. We get punched in the mouth, we're not going to come right back. And if the people that were fans from before that time, like we were used to being the one that did the punching, and then knowing the other team wasn't going to be able to come back. So, having that ability to, keep, and when I was thinking about words, like my word would probably be energy, because, Lashley has this like energy that no matter what's going on, even if things are going well, there was a couple of times you saw him really ripping into his guys to making sure that they were doing the right thing, even in little situations there. So I think the Eric King's leadership, like they keep the energy up no matter what. So even if the defense gives up a long drive and Louisville gets a touchdown, I think it was in the Canes offensive heads and said, the defense has picked us up in years past. Like if we get a big score, we get a big play here, we get a good drive here, then that gets washed right away. That gets erased, and the defense can have another chance to come back and do the right thing. And I think that they responded so well, and those two huge plays, obviously in the third quarter, were such a big part of the end result, and kept putting that like the pressure on, keeping the gas pedal down. It put us in a great situation, and I just love the fact that we have an offensive coordinator and a quarterback that seem to be so in tune with each other, because when you have those two guys that never seem to get too rattled, always seem to be excited to get out there and make a play, I think it really works out well.
I agree with that. And I would also like to point this out, man. I got so many thoughts going through my mind, because I think tonight told me a lot about this team. But something I noticed was De'Aaron King and Rhett Lashlee and Cameron Harris. They all are about business. And what examples would people, they will say, how would you know that? De'Aaron King tonight, he throws a touchdown. When they flash to him on the sideline, he's never like celebrating or anything. He's never, just over there smiling. It's like he's looking at plays. He's focused. He's in tune with the game. Cameron Harris, they told the story tonight. He don't want the touchdown rings. He don't want none of that. Rhett Lashlee, even when things were going good offensively, he's yelling at the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say to having three leaders? Because I do look at Cameron Harris and De'Aaron King as the leaders of this offense, and of course Rhett Lashlee. What would you say to the business-like approach of our Miami Hurricanes?
I think it's great. I think that's the kind of stuff that comes into play when you have guys with, legitimate like big picture in mind. Like they have a job that they want to get done. They have short-term goals here and they have long-term goals. I think in the past we may have had, obviously last year there was a big question about maturity at the quarterback position. I think again, not only last year, we had it the year before that too. And it's been this issue that's been really one of the biggest problems that Miami's had. And then all of a sudden this year you have Lashley, who wants to prove himself at a big time school, that he's not just, a guy that worked with Gus Malzahn, like he can do his own thing. He wants to be a head coach down the line. So this is this is like a big money year for him. Then you have De'Ara King, who wants to prove to everybody that 2 years ago wasn't a fluke, that he can be a real quarterback, that he could be, a championship quarterback and eventually an NFL quarterback. And then you have Cam Harris, who, when he came in, people talk. I mean, you have a Carroll City kid. Those kids, when they come in ready to play. And, everybody talked about Lingard and it was going to be this, it was going to be that. And even when Lingard was leaving, everyone, there was a lot of talk about, well, like, how did Miami lose this guy? And he basically came out and said, like, it's fine, let him go. I'm here. So they all had a lot to prove, and short term, long term, and I think they're really taking an opportunity and stepping forward. And when you have guys like that who are going to step forward, I think a lot of other people start to realize, like, oh, I need to be responsible for myself. And like you were saying, like, when Lashley gets into that offensive line, he has a quarterback there who's right there next to him, expecting that kind of greatness. So it all works out. And, I'm excited to see that the rest of those guys in the offense continue to step up with more opportunities.
All right, guys, we got Chris from Kane's Legacy. You can find him on Twitter, and he also writes articles for Kane's Insight. So, De'Ara King goes 18-30 for 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Cameron Harris, 134 yards, only on 9 carries, which is weird when you look at that. Brevin Jordan, 7 receptions, 120 yards, 1 touchdown. If you're critiquing the offense, give me some things that Miami needs to work on.